Please.
Your leg's broken?
No. Whatever.
That's what I tell my kids.
I said please.
Oh gosh, that's on. I just said that. Hey! Oh, was that really?
Yes.
You guys.
It's live.
I say that's one of my dad jokes. My kids will go, "Hey Dad, can you give me some milk?" I'll go, "What, your leg's broken? You can't get up and get your own?" That's kind of funny.
That is funny, yeah.
Although broken legs are not that funny.
No.
You know, my legs are always broken with my kids. I'm doing what I hated my parents doing. I don't know. Can you give me a glass of water? Can you give me the keys? Can you give me the control? Like, as a kid, I didn't like that, and now I do it all the time.
Ooh,
I'll be laying upstairs, be like, can you give me, like, cracker? And I'll call them from downstairs. You don't do that to your kids? That's the best. I earned that.
My wife will say, call Josh for dinner. And I'm standing right next to her, and I just say, Josh, dinner!
Wow.
And she'll say, well, I could have done that. And
That
I
happens
say,
to me all the
well,
time.
why didn't you?
Yeah.
Why do I always have to be the one that's yelling?
We work all day. All day.
So now we've been talking dad jokes
Yeah.
because they're funny, right? You know. That's what
the
you get.
reaction.
That's what we're up against.
Oh, my goodness.
In fact, somebody texted in just a few minutes ago. They thought that wives should have to stand there and listen to and appreciate dad jokes.
Yeah. Fred said, new rule, women can't walk away from their husbands when they're... Can you imagine that rule? Oh, my goodness. No.
But see, you know, it's ironic that we didn't even plan on talking about dad jokes. We didn't. They just happened. It's hard not to
And
tell
then
dad
the
jokes.
text kept going. People kept sharing jokes,
they're
and I'm
funny.
like, why?
People love the dad joke.
Now,
No.
but Father's Day is coming up. And I've been well behaved this year, Janelle.
Okay.
As opposed to previous years.
In previous years, it would have been many, many days now, I would have already brought up the truth. You're not even, look at her, she's not even listening.
Because... go ahead. I'm listening. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
The truth that of all holidays, the least important one in America is Father's Day.
It's the truth.
Why do you think that is? Let's talk about
'Cause it's
that.
true.
No, but why? Now, we're not looking at your house or my house. We're talking about all of America. Why do you think that is?
Because it's just obvious. Like,
No,
for example,
why though? So you thinking, why is it
What are
celebrated
the
less than
symptoms
mom?
we see?
Well, actually, no.
Yeah.
Okay, before I get to that, I'm just actually in shock. So you're agreeing.
No, yeah, I agree. In fact,
What?
I
Whoa.
agree. No, yeah, I've told
Are you all right?
Stop the presses!
You agree with me?
It's true.
So, wait.
Mother's Day is a big deal. It's
Big.
treated like a big deal. Yes.
In fact, in some denominations, some cultural groups, the three most important things of the year for Christians are Christmas, Easter, and Mother's Day. And by the way, the most important is probably Mother's Day of those three.
Brian.
I'm just saying. I love
guess.
mothers. They deserve. This is not a reflection of changing anything about Mother's Day.
Okay.
But Labor Day is a bigger deal than Father's Day. At least you get the day off on Labor Day.
You don't get the day off on Mother's Day, though, either.
Hello.
Well,
It's usually a Sunday.
moms don't get the day off on Mother's Day.
I have to be very careful from here on out. So I'm going to be in close quarters with my wife for a little while.
Speaking
No,
of,
I watch
hold on,
it.
I gotta pause this. Speaking of wives, she'll never come in here, but my wife, because she's awesome,
Yeah.
has something for me. You want to come in? She's right there. Look at
She is
this.
awesome.
I love my wife. Best wife ever.
She's the best.
See what she just did? Brought me a coffee.
Next to
Oh,
Dan.
that is so nice.
I don't know what Len's doing.
Len's working because he's a great provider.
All right.
Hey, baby.
Thank you.
He ain't even watching
Sarah's the
this. He's
best.
working.
He's busy.
Yeah.
So now your real question though is why is Father's Day completely unimportant?
No, yeah, I want to know.
It's
no,
not
no, no.
completely unimportant.
I want you to, yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, let's get your take. Because he's a big victim and nobody cares. And
Thanks for calling me big, by the way. I appreciate that.
what do you think? How do you feel about Father's Day? And
It's a dad joke.
do you feel celebrated on Father's Day?
Well, I would have to say, I have to agree with Brian in this sense that we do put a greater emphasis on Mother's Day. And I don't think that's necessarily bad because, you know, we're the big tough guys and we like to think that we live on an island. We don't need a lot of people. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, a little less emotional most times.
Yeah.
And I think that it's good to appreciate moms because they they do a lot. Not that dads don't, but I think
this isn't about mothers at all. Like,
right.
keep going.
It's not a negative. It's not a negative thing about mothers. It's just I think a lot of times we think that our dads don't need that affirmation and that building up because we're tough and we're just going to go punch something in the face, right? I mean,
Which we could.
We could.
And it would hurt.
At any moment, everybody in the studio might get punched in the face by dad. But we're not going to do that because we know how to restrain ourselves. We have discipline.
That's right, discipline.
Right? And so I think that there's just a difference there where fathers aren't quite celebrated in the same way. But it doesn't mean that they're not celebrated. I got my dad a gift for Father's Day, something that I know that he loves to do.
But isn't it more obligatory than like celebratory?
Yeah, we do a big thing for Mother's Day at my house. We do.
So it's celebratory.
We celebrate Mother's Day.
And what do we do for fathers?
We get them a gift card from Amazon.
It's more of an obligation.
Obligation. Well, I have a take on it then. First, I have a challenge for women. I think we do need to do better at making sure the kids make an effort to celebrate. I get that part, but I'm gonna
Can I ask you a question though? I didn't quite catch what you said. Women need to what?
do better.
What?
We need to do better at making sure our kids celebrate.
You didn't.
No, but I even have more of a challenge. One thing my mom pointed out that I try to for years I've been careful with the kids. For example, we got the Cedar Point pass with the kids. Who gets to go to Cedar Point with the kids is me. Yeah. When we go to the pool, I get to go. When we go to the museums, all of those memories that my older kids, I'm there. And so my mom has said what's unfair about the dads is as the kids get older, those memories involve you. And so you get the thank you. You get the, my mom was so awesome. Yep. So I try to be careful when we go to places to tell the kids, you need to say thank you to Papi. If it wasn't because of him, we wouldn't be here. So I try to bring him up so that he gets the credit because it's so not cool that he's not in a lot of the memories because he's providing those memories. And I work now, but I wasn't working. I was at home before. I'm just saying.
You're working hard.
And I know a lot of moms work.
Staying at home with kids is a lot of work.
It is. I just want to make sure, like the dad's providing, even for the dads that are at home. When we work, sometimes it's more optional than the dad. Like they have to work. So okay. I think we need to be better at that. Because I think that's what happens. The dads aren't emotionally involved in the memories because they're providing. And then they come home and they're tired. And I know I'm going to get women texting saying, you get home and you're tired too. I get that. My mom worked and she was tired. But there's something about the nurture and there's just something about the way.
I agree 100% with what you just said.
I don't want to say women aren't working. My mother was a worker. Like she worked.
But a few important caveats. Number one, I didn't say any of that.
Yeah, I know.
Did you say that?
I did not say any of that, but I do agree with it.
Yeah.
Janelle said all that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good explanation, and this is interesting. I want to know why you think Father's Day just isn't that big of a deal in American culture.
You're right. Right.
Because what goes even deeper, here's the fascinating part. I don't know if he wants to be known for this. I'm just going to say a friend of the show says he doesn't go to church on Father's Day.
Yeah. Right.
Because he's tired of having everybody tell him he could do better on Father's Day in church. That's the sermon usually, his dad step it up.
Yeah. Right.
He doesn't even go to church anymore.
Hi, Angela. Hi, Misty. Hi, Tamar.
Hey, guys.
Angela says, I love Father's Day. My dad is a great father and really gave his time to me growing up. My husband is great too, an excellent provider, and he has fun with our boys. And that's the thing. I want the provider part does not come across as strong as the nurture. And I think that's maybe the emotional gap that there is with Father's Day. You can say, well, thank you for providing. That doesn't engage you as emotionally as you grow older. And it's unfair, but it's just, I think, reality.
It's in the world that we live in.
Oh, you're such a victim.
But no, okay, seriously, so why isn't Father's Day that important? We got Tamar in there, thank you so much. But by the way, just as I was going to share this tomorrow, which I probably still will, but
we're going to hear a whole lot of things. Yes, go ahead.
On Mother's Day this last year, over $23 billion was spent on Mother's Day. How much was spent on Father's Day? last year. Women, 23 billion. How much for fathers? Go ahead. 23 billion for Mother's Day.
For fathers, 18 billion.
Wow, you're generous. Nope, too high.
How much?
12 billion.
It's in the billions, though. That's a lot of money. Give me $12 billion.
So I always tell people with money, don't look at the dollars, look at the percentages because they tell the truth.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
So that's a big difference percentage-wise.
Huge difference.
50%?
It's tangible evidence that Father's Day is relatively unimportant.
So, but, Brian, for Father's Day, if my kid got on the lawnmower and cut the grass and did the edging and cleared off the sidewalk exactly like I would do it, I would say that's a better gift for me. If you did that.
Yeah.
Right? And cleaned off the lawnmower before you put it away so it doesn't look like you got, just cut the, when I put my lawnmower away, you wouldn't know I cut the grass. It's clean. So if you could do that for me, I would probably like that.
And see, for
It
me,
didn't cost any money.
See, for me, it would be concerted, like specific words of, because this is my love language. Dad, I appreciate you because.
I didn't know that was your love
It
language.
is,
We'll
Dave.
start doing that now.
It's really, oh my goodness.
Tell me what you love about me, Dave.
So I have a question then. Do you think
Okay, this just got
that
weird.
dads can do a better job at being more nurturing to help engage us as kids?
Wait, what's the question?
I see that.
Ooh, but you're more humble though.
I was going to say hi again to I Chin is back. What's up?
Hi, Chin.
Jim
Paul.
is there.
Paul says, yes, give the good dad credit. Yes, we have to do that. It cannot be just on Father's Day. It can't be like when you're 10. Like, we have to do that organically all the time. For example, there are moments where, like, we're at a park. It doesn't even have to be Cedar Point or museums. A lot of times it's like at the park and I bring the picnic and I do all that. And my little one will hug me and be like, you're such a great mom. Those moments I'll take to say, remember, Papi, and I'll bring things up about he helped me. He was the one that went grocery shopping and made sure about the picnic. I'm just saying, bring the dad up because the absence, I think, lays heavy when the mom is there all the time and the dad's working. So, Brian, I'm talking about our side, and I'm being humble on my side in the argument.
Let's not get carried
Do
away.
you think I am?
Humble, but-
Do you think that as dads, you guys can work a little bit more out of your comfort zone and be more nurturing and more engaged on the weekends? Let's say, for example.
Welcome to every Father's
Not
Day
our
sermon.
job.
You
Here's
don't
what our
like
job
board
is.
games.
Welcome to every Father's Day sermon.
Our job.
Oh my gosh!
Our job, which we're doing, is to teach our kids how to fix things, how to do things, how to be people of action, how to be decisive. For instance, my dad taught me how to build everything. He taught
He's
me
a great
that.
dad.
He took the time. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to put a hammer in my hand and watch me put a hole through the wall when I was trying to pound in a nail, but he did. And I remember in the worst time of my life, in the darkest time of my life, I turned around, my dad was there. Nobody else was. That's what dads do. We're the ones who kind of stand in the gap when there's trouble.
That's right.
And when you are in trouble, that's who you rely on. Your mom will cry, right? That's what you're supposed to do. And they'll be there too. But your dad's going to stand up for you. And that's kind of who we are. And I think that's who we are as Christian
And
males
families
too.
need that.
Families need that.
Families need it.
But we have to work. We need balance. That's why we need each other. There are things.
But
For example, I
okay.
give a lot of grace in my house and a lot of nurture and a lot of whatever. Len reminds me about challenging the kids and about, I've talked about I'm more big picture, he's more detailed. It would not benefit me to just say, well, that's just Len's thing. I just, I'm big picture. He challenges me to be like, no, like try to be a balanced person and work on this other side. So can you concede and say, yeah, maybe we could be a little bit more nurturing? He always says, I don't like board games. Okay, that's great. I'm glad you're
'Cause they're not
challenging.
fun.
Right. So maybe
The sky's blue. I mean,
not.
no, but here's what I can
Okay.
acknowledge.
Okay.
There's a lot of men who could be more nurturing. But Father's Day isn't the day to talk about it.
No, it's not.
Father's Day is the day
It's
to celebrate
not.
what he does well.
I'm talking about the big picture.
Yeah.
In society, that's probably why Father's Day has been downplayed. Sarah says, Great point. She says Father's Day isn't as important because as a culture we do not recognize the importance of the father figure in the home, and also a lot of fathers are absent.
Right.
Emotionally, and I'm not even talking about like you, I'm talking about emotionally absent, like
Sure.
that where there's an issue, or completely absent.
Guess what? That may be true, but here's the problem. We shouldn't talk about that on Father's Day.
Right, I get that.
Because what that does is that dismisses men who are there.
Right.
We don't talk about absent mothers and mothers who don't care about their kids or abusive on Mother's Day.
Right.
So that may be true, but Father's Day isn't the day to talk about absentee fathers. It's the day to celebrate those who are fathers.
Right.
But she is right about society, because as funny as I think it is, every sitcom is funny because the dad's an idiot.
Yep.
It's true.
I laugh at it. King of Queens is a funny show, even though he's not a dad. He's
Never
a
saw it.
Everybody loves Raymond.
I might have seen it a couple times, but if you know a dad, if you know a guy that is kind of absent, and we know these guys, we know who they are. I think where you deal with that stuff is in a men's group on a Saturday morning with other men, and you have to be given an entree to speak into somebody's life. So you can't just go up and say, "Hey, Bob, I notice you're absent at home, and you really need to step up your game." You got to build a relationship with somebody before you could say something like that.
Yeah.
And they have to invite you in to say something like that. Otherwise, it's going to fall on deaf ears, and you're never going to see them again. So, and I think that's our job as men. I always told guys, if you're trying to throw in a towel in my church, I'm going to hand it back to you. And if you throw it in again, I'm going to hand it back to you. You're not throwing in the towel around me. I'm not going to let you quit that easily.
That's right.
And I might have to stuff that towel down your throat.
That guy. That's what a
But
man
we're going to
does.
stand up, and we're going
punch
to.
you while I'm doing it.
I might, and sometimes that's what a guy needs to hear, is you're not throwing in the towel that easy. We don't quit that easy, and you might not like me right now because of what I'm telling you, but you're going to appreciate it 5 years from now when your family's intact and you're the dad that you want to be. You couldn't see it right now, but you're not going to throw in the towel around me and just walk away. I'm coming after you.
And men need to be doing that, and we need to be better about that.
Yeah, we do.
Just don't make that the topic of conversation on Father's Day.
Right,
Right.
I get that. But we're talking
Well, we
about
do, though.
why
You get it, but-
is it not as big? Well,
Why
we're
is it
talking
not as
about the
big?
day and what happens. We're saying the general aspect of why isn't it
I think
as...
couldn't part of it simply be because society has a generally negative view of men?
Yes.
Not that most of history men didn't do a lot of horrible things and get lots of attention.
Especially strong men.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're
Like
Sarah,
toxic masculinity.
Sarah gets
Yeah.
what you're saying. Sarah says, Brian makes an excellent point. If on Mother's Day we celebrate and honor mothers, we ought to do the same thing for men on Father's
But
Day.
we don't do that for men on
We
Father's
don't
Day.
do that.
In
Well,
fact-
wait, hold up. Not all churches, because
Right.
the ones I go to
I
are
gotta
doing a
tell
great
you a
job.
pet peeve though, because this is my chance to vent. I get to do this once a year. This is the biggest
always
offense.
I think he gets to do it once a day. Right?
I was a brand new father. Well, on this topic.
Okay.
I vent every day. So we're in a great church. I'm not going to say the name because we love the church. We're members there. There's a new dad. It's Father's Day. I can't wait. The message is, the pastor goes up in front and says, all right, if you're a dad out there, we want to cheer for you. Stand up. And so I stand up and I'm like, there it is. We're honoring dads here. The next line is, and I know there's a lot of single mothers out there who've had to do this alone and are basically fathers to their kids. You stand up.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm looking around, and it's me and a bunch of women and some guys, and then it's, there's a lot of you out there that are father figures to people. A lot of women out there are father figures. Well, you stand up too. Pretty soon, who is standing up? Women.
Yeah.
Brian's a little
Don't do
bitter.
that.
Brian's
Do
a
you
little
think
bitter
we?
about this.
Do you
Don't
think?
do that on Father's Day.
No. What do you guys agree with Brian? Should we celebrate? I mean, we're saying they're covering the father role.
Here's what I would say.
They are covering that gap. A whole lot of mothers.
But actually, no, they're not.
They're not. Only a father can
Yeah.
cover that role.
And men in the church should step up. And we need a single Mother's Day. We need a single Father's Day. We need a day for everybody. Okay? We need a
No, we don't.
radio host day.
An oldest child day. Yeah.
That's every day. But it's not a day. It's not a day to be
The
wrecked,
oldest, I take
men.
it.
Yeah.
It's not a day to celebrate single moms. It's not a day to celebrate pets or
Do you agree?
veterans. It's a
Do
day
you-
to celebrate dads.
Do you agree about single moms? We shouldn't mention them or honor them on Father's Day. Now, put yourself in the shoes of a child of a single mom. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just trying to.
Well, I think I'm not so vehement about
Yeah.
I think we,
That was what you really think, Brian. I hear that a lot.
I love the fact that I have an intact family. I do. And I was raised, a lot of my friends came from broken homes while I was growing up. And I see the destruction that can happen. And we used to say, oh, kids are resilient. Well, you know what? It hurts kids. It hurts adult children when their parents get divorced. Like, wow, did everything I believe in, was that a lie? And so it is a painful experience. And there are a lot of great single moms and single dads out there. But we don't have to be an all-inclusive society on every single day.
That's right.
And I think it's okay to say, our dads in the church are doing great. We want to honor you. There doesn't need to be a caveat there. It's not the time for it. But I think the men of the church should be reaching out, or the families of the church, I'll say the families of the church should be reaching out to the single parents of a church, whether they're male or female, and supporting them in some way, because it is very difficult to raise kids with two parents. It's going to be extremely difficult with one, and sometimes people just need a break from their kids. Yeah. I love my kids, but sometimes they're a pain in the neck, and sometimes I need a break. And so if you're a single parent, the families of the church should be reaching out to those families at an appropriate time, and maybe Father's Day isn't the right time to do it. I don't know, but
Dave Safransky.
Yes.
President and founder, Edgewater Investment Group. I will say...
Mary, you got a fan here if you want me to...
What?
Mary says, I agree with Brian. Single moms have Mother's Day. I love that Brian always speaks his mind. Lynette, good morning.
Did you hear that? Hold on, say that again. She loves what?
That Brian always speaks his mind. He sure does. He's doing his job.
Yep.
Mike says he agrees
She always slips that in.
Mike says he agrees with Dave. Angela, she says that was a portion of my childhood. Sarah says, do you also celebrate single dads on Mother's Day? But then this goes back to why Father's Day is celebrated less than Mother's Day. The father's role is downplayed, or the father is not there. Can I just say, we got to wrap this up, but I agree. As a church, we shouldn't do that. I just have a heart for if you grew up without a dad and you want to celebrate your mom on Mother's Day and Father's Day, and go ahead, because I can see, first of all, you can do whatever you want to, and second of all, I appreciate wanting to acknowledge that your mom had to cover more than being a mom. She didn't cover being a dad, but she did way more than what I'm doing at home. I see it. There are friends I have that are single moms.
And I can't argue with
and
that.
There are things that I don't even have to go through with my boys. I have 4 boys. And I have the luxury of saying, you know what, Len got that. I don't even have to take my brain there. And as a mom, you do. For example, I'll give you an example, and I don't want to make this all about this.
But here we go. Now we're talking about single mothers.
No. Listen. For example, we were talking about the way.
Just like you said it would
I'm saying. This happens every
that's
year.
a real thing, though.
No, but I don't disagree with that.
You can't just say no. You can't cover being a dad. No, but they're
But
doing
why do we
more than
have to-
being a mom.
And everyone agrees, but why can't we have one day where we say, and dads matter too? Let's reserve praising single moms for every other day of the year.
But I'm talking to you, and if your mom was the only one there, then you go ahead and take Father's Day and make it about your mom.
In your family.
There, dude.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. That's free country. Now, I have to say, lest anyone misunderstand, first of all, if you saw a beautiful figure walk past in the back, it wasn't Dave. It was my wife, Sarah, accidentally got on camera, which I think is quite amusing. She does not struggle with this. I don't say this out of personal frustration. Yeah. My wife doesn't want. She brought, as part of celebrating Father's Day, brought me coffee. My kids do a great job. I'm not personally complaining. I'm fighting for men and God and country and
sure you are, man.
Peace and truth and justice for all.
Yeah, and the American way.
And the American Superman.
Continue to share your thoughts below. Let us know, what are you doing for Father's Day? How can we do better? How can we make a father like Brian know, you know what, you're just as honored and yes.
Well, Brian will probably be getting a pedicure and a manicure or something like that for.
We want to honor our dads.
My biceps for Father's Day.
Bye, guys. Yes, the conversation always continues.
What's so funny about that? Why would that be funny, Dave?
Yeah.
You're not going to need a lot of oil, bro.
There isn't enough oil in one. I got to buy 2 bottles.
I was at Costco.
Are we still going?
we're still